Welcome to Toffee TV. It is Footy Show daily time here live on Patreon. Get your questions, get your comments, get your snidey remarks into us. And, you know, respond to anything we are talking about or anything you want to talk about. Let us know. If you are watching this on YouTube after the fact, get over to Patreon. Patreon.com/Toffee TV EFC. The link is in the description if you want to join us for daily live videos. Arsenal last night, Baz, playing Leicester. A chance for Arsenal after they've been on a good run. A chance for them to close the gap on the teams above them. Leicester were obviously dropped down to 4th place after Chelsea had beaten Crystal Palace and ended up a 1-1 draw after a sending off for Arsenal after a bit of a bad tackle.
Nketiah with the he'd been on, hadn't he? Hadn't been on long and was sent off. It was bad. I mean, it probably was going for the ball, but when you'd slow it down, we caught James Justin high on the knee, and it was a definite red for me, without a shadow of a doubt. It was a good game. It was a good game, but
so I suppose after Monday night, Spurs winning, the question is, where are Spurs and Arsenal going to end up? Are they going to get in those European places? And after, you know, what we've seen from Arsenal in the last, well, obviously they're on the way, trying to get on the way back. Spurs have had a bit of a strange season, because into the Champions League final last season, just over 13 months ago. But let's just check out what the lads have got to say about it.
What is going on? You two have had such a tough season. Can you genuinely see a situation where either of you are going to win the league ever again?
Yeah. Let's look at our teams right now.
League,
let's look at our teams right now. Me personally, I think my team's better than yours, Black. We've both got a lot of problems, but I think 11 to 11, my team's better than yours. And I personally think my manager is better than yours, because man like
your manager's finished.
Man like Arteta, fam, you get me? Man like Arteta, what? What has he done, blood? What has he done other than put trading cones out for Pep?
Once you know you're not going to win the league, the pursuit is top 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Link is in the description if you want to watch more of that video.
that's quite heated. Watch it.
Yeah, Troops and Expression there, obviously two. I mean, anyone who saw Troops last night might be getting a knock on his door. But it's the two teams. Obviously, Arsenal, the fall has been a little bit more over the last 2 or 3 years. Tottenham, who got up there quickly under Pochettino, and then have dropped off in a very, very strange fashion. I think I still can't really understand what they've done this season. In terms of, I feel like they've just gone mad in a way. You got to the Champions League last year and then suddenly just completely lost faith in the manager. And things do change. You get to a level where you think everything's on the up, but actually not. That's the highest you're ever going to get, and that's when you've got to go back and redo things, and it will take time. But for them, for me this season, they just look miles off. And with Mourinho going there, you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to build a solid foundation. But I don't know. I don't know with Liverpool and Man City, Chelsea buying well, Man United resurgence. I don't know if there's going to be room, certainly for Tottenham, to break back into that top 4 going forward.
It can change every season. It certainly can. Obviously, Spurs' form was poor though after Christmas last year. I know they did brilliantly in the Champions League, but in the league, don't forget, they were right up there at one stage. I remember us going to Germany, and that weekend they played Burnley away, and I think they could have closed the gap at the top to just a few points, and Burnley beat them. And if you remember, Pochettino was on the pitch at the end, and there was a kick-off there, and then the league form never quite picked back up. But they did brilliantly in the Champions League, and then this season it just hasn't happened for them. And Mourinho's come in, and it's been very different between Pochettino and Mourinho. The two different styles. Pochettino very much pressing quickly, and they were a handful as a team, where Mourinho's team is a little bit more safe, but they've still got the top end of the pitch. They've still got players like Kane and Son who were brilliant. I'm not one of these people that looks at it and goes, I know, like in the video there, the lads are, you know, oh, we're miles away from winning this and we're miles away from winning that. You can never look at it like that, I don't think, because things can change so dramatically over 1 to 2 seasons. You'd never said Spurs in June, when Liverpool beat them, will be struggling to get in the top 4 this season.
No, but you do think, though, that, saying, you know, in football, you have these windows of opportunity. And if you don't grasp something in that window, it might go away. It might come back. But, you know, you look at, and that's what, you know, I mentioned Manchester United. They're the obvious one. They have, you know, I know they won a couple of trophies under Mourinho, but it's been what, 6 years since they won the league?
Since they won the league.
Since they won the league. So for them, that's huge after the success. But now they'll feel like they're climbing again, and there's an opportunity for them now to break into that top 4 if they can. Certainly, if Manchester City's ban is upheld, they'll get into the Champions League. It looks like, and you just wonder with them coming back and Chelsea coming back as well. You just I look at Tottenham now and just think, I think you have missed the boat. I think you should have built on what you had going for you, and you've missed the boat. Now, I'm not saying there's not opportunities to do other things, you know, go in the Europa League or whatever and build themselves back up through that. I just think they've missed that window of opportunities. And you're right, that started with Pochettino. That started with not buying players to come in and take over from the players that have aged out the side. But certainly for them, and we've seen that with Arsenal as well. Arsenal now, Arteta looks like he's getting a bit of a structure. They've got good players. I know they're arguing in the video there. I think Arsenal have got better players in the where it matters. I think defensively they're all over the shop, but I think Tottenham are a little bit like that as well. I think Arsenal will find it easier, I think, to buy the players they need than I think Tottenham will, because I think Tottenham's real problem is Harry Kane in a weird, perverse way, because he's brilliant, but they've struggled, haven't they? I think to attract someone to not play alongside them, but I don't know, do you know what I mean? It's
he's undroppable.
Yeah,
that's the problem. He's almost undroppable, and so to get a lad to go and play for your team in a position that Kane plays, if they only really play with one up front, then how do you get someone who's, say, like Timo Werner, for argument's sake? How could Tottenham attract him? Looking and thinking, well, hang on, they only play with one striker, and Harry Kane's amazing. But you need more than that. Spurs have needed more than that.
Whereas Arsenal have got a centre-back coming in. You know, a good centre-back. And he's starting to get the framework of a team. He's still missing a lot. But if you can keep hold of Aubameyang and he you know, if you can keep hold of Lacazette and with the attacking talent he's got, they are, again, I don't think they're a Champions League team, don't get me wrong, I'm not preaching that. I just mean between the two teams. I think Arsenal have got, for me, have just got that little bit more going about them.
I think Spurs have got better players. I really do.
I
look at Arsenal's midfield, and I don't think there's anyone of note.
I look at Tottenham's, and I don't really see. I think Eriksen's been a big loss, and I don't know whether I don't think they've replaced him. I think both of us, but probably think they're not top 4 teams.
No, but again, both. You see, why I think Arsenal may have an advantage is they're more attacking than what Spurs are, and I think in this league, if you are quite attacking, you will win more games than you'll lose. And I think Spurs are a bit more cagey because that's the way Mourinho is. Yeah. And Kane will get them will win games. He'll be the decider in a lot of games. But there'll be other games where that could go against them.
Do you think, though,
both need players?
That one of the problems certainly for Spurs is that just because of the manager, Mourinho is now defensive. And I don't know whether they've got enough about them to go and win games. Where I look at Arsenal, I think Arteta is attacking, but I think he's starting to understand what he needs to do at the back as well to get through games. And that to try and win those games for Arsenal will win them more games than Tottenham will, and Tottenham will be a bit more cagey.
I still think, for me, the jury's out with Arsenal, with Arteta. He's been there for 5 minutes. He's doing all right at the minute, but they've had a couple where they could have gone the other way. I mean, they were hanging on against Leicester at the end. I know they only had 10 men. But I think the jury's out. If he carries on doing what they're doing now, yes, they'll certainly be up there again next season. And then we'll have to see how Mourinho plays. I think both teams need strengthening. There's no question about that. It's whether there's money. As we know, in the Premier League, there's a lot.
Matthew Barrett just said in the comments there, Spurs are so debt-laden that they have to sell to pay the bonds on their stadium and pay back the Bank of England. I mean, that is correct. And I think that's going to be an issue for them going forward. Can they bring in the talent? Whereas as I said, I do think Arsenal, if they can keep the talent, have got it. But I still think that, you look at them now, it's going to be interesting. There's a derby coming up, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see who finishes higher.
Points in it at the moment, isn't it? The Spurs have got a game in hand.
But I still feel like both of them are a little bit weighed down. And the question of can they win the league, I think it's hilarious because Tottenham haven't won the league since 1961. I think it is, isn't it? So
I think that'll always be asked, Mona, can they win the league? And again, it's like I said before.
But again,
I don't buy into any of this thing of like where people go, it's 5 years away. It's because you can't do it like that. You literally can't.
Don't you have to? But don't you have to, as a club, do that though? Don't you have to set your own roadmap?
Yeah, of course you do. And they both will, won't they? I think if you ask Mikel Arteta, he wouldn't go 5 years and then we can win the league because he might win it in 2 years. Or it might be 7.
But you believe, though, out of the two teams, one having Arteta, up-and-coming manager, first appointment, and then Mourinho, who, yes,
won everything,
but we've seen how he's been in the last few years.
Oh, I know.
And it just feels... What I mean by that is, if you were to say to Arteta, right, 5-year plan, he'd be like, yeah, I'm all on board on that, build the team over 5 years, helps me learn, helps the club learn. Whereas Mourinho ain't doing 5-year plans for anybody, I don't think. And I think that's the thing for me.
That might be
that's the issue for me, is that Mourinho was like, I'm in and I'm out, I'm 2 years, 3 years.
But then he might be more likely to win Spurs a trophy than what Arteta is for Arsenal. Because he's the man.
I just don't know.
What do we always say in the Premier League? If you build a solid foundation and you've got difference makers at the top end of the pitch, you've got a chance. He's got Kane and Son in the top end, and Lucas Moura to a lesser extent.
But they're still both a little bit of ways. Arsenal semi-final of the FA Cup, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
that's like his trophy at Arsenal, isn't he? Like so. No, that'd be interesting. I do think.
What I would say, Ped.
I do think they're quite even.
What I would say is there's a few teams who will be in the mix next season.
Yeah.
And I include Wolves in that. I might stupidly include Everton in that in terms of Europa League places I'm talking about. There'll be battles, but it'll be key to see what happens going forward. But at the minute, so you're putting Arsenal slightly ahead of Spurs.
No, I'm not putting... What I'm saying is, I just feel like with Arsenal, is that I think a plan, if it's a long-term plan, is a lot more achievable than I think with Mourinho. Because I just think Mourinho is just 2-3 years in and out. And he does things his own way, and he alienates people on the way. I think... But what will be interesting is whether the Arsenal fans allow Arteta to have that time, and that's the key, difference. That's completely the difference. Whereas Tottenham fans are more like to be like, well, we've been here and seen it, we haven't won anything. They're like us. We haven't seen. We'll just sit here and twiddle our thumbs anyway. It doesn't really matter because we haven't won anything for that long anyway. It'll be so. There's weird little differences in the sides. It's going to be interesting, and obviously that derby coming up. If you want to check out that video, the link is in the description.
It's weird to watch. It is weird to watch.
They're always
interesting, aren't they? They're always interesting.
Yeah. As we mentioned, Chelsea went to
Crystal Palace, didn't he?
They went to Crystal Palace, and they were 2-0 up, and then conceded, and they went 3-1 up, and then conceded very quickly. But they just hung on, just about, and that was a huge win, because obviously with Leicester playing Arsenal after them, to go above them and then stay above them with that result that Leicester had, that's big for them now, because that's something for them to cling on to. But they're interesting as well, Chelsea, because with all our attack and talent, and when we were sitting in here, and I read the team out here before, and then we were like, Zuma and Christensen, I was like, that's, you know, that's not good, that.
Yeah. And it proved that.
And it proved it because they had a little bit of a wobble, but they got through the game. It's another game that they've won, a game that they've, you know, he knows what their problems are. He knows that they're a little bit soft-centred. They need someone at centre-back who is commanding, who is a leader, like a lot of teams. But they've gone up to 3rd place, and you know that team is growing. It really is. And we talk about Arsenal, and what's funny is I know they didn't have as many. I don't think they had as many, I don't know, problems or whatever. But Chelsea have had a great season under Lampard.
Benefited from not being able to buy players in a funny way, because they still had players who'd won the league, and it's all worked well. I watched them last night, and when I got home from here, and Barkley I thought was excellent. Mason Mount breaking from midfield quick. They've got a lot of dynamism, which it does make a difference in the Premier League. You've got players like that. And they've mixed it with experience, like Giroud up front and stuff, and they were excellent. Palace gave it a good go, to be fair. I mean, Zaha scored an absolute worldie to give them hope. Yeah. Absolute screamer of a goal.
The keeper should have done better, though.
Probably, but it was just the power that he hit it with was incredible. But it was middle of the goal, but it was just, probably wasn't expecting that much power from there. But Mason Mount had scored, Pulisic had scored a cracker as well, hadn't he? But Lampard made changes at the right time, and Loftus-Cheek come on, and the ball through to Tammy Abraham, who also come on with him, was just a little dink through the middle, was fantastic. But then they go and concede again immediately. So, I mean, really, Scott Dan hits the post in the 95th minute. Otherwise,
an absolutely amazing tackle as well.
Otherwise, Benteke should have just nudged that. That was ridiculous. He's running in on goal, get the touch, and then Zuma takes him. It's a red card penalty. It's game over. Doesn't. But a massive win for them. Puts them ahead of Leicester now, you know, chasing Leicester down to 3rd now. Man United have got that game of Villa tomorrow. They win a Villa tomorrow.
Leicester will be praying though that City banners upheld, won't they? Because that would do.
I don't think it will be, personally, but they will do, because they were in a box seat they were 2nd at Christmas, and you know the treading water now. Like I say, United win a Villa tomorrow. There's a point in it, level games. Yeah. Chelsea are above them. Wolves have got a game in hand. They play tonight at Sheffield United. They win. They're only 4 points behind Leicester. All of a sudden, you know, you're looking and going, we're in there.
Quality is really all rising to the top, isn't it? It really is, you know, and that's the thing about lockdown
big
football,
squads as well, isn't it?
The other game yesterday was Watford played Norwich. Norwich took the lead, but Watford ended up winning the game, and what a way to win it. Danny Welbeck with an overhead kick. Watford just score overhead kicks for fun, don't they? But that's a huge win for them, because that gives them that little bit of daylight with Villa now. And Villa, as we said, you know, Villa coming up against Manchester United tomorrow. And you just think, if Watford could get one more win and West Ham got one more win, I think that would be done. I think it would be done. Yeah. And it's a huge result.
You're backing United to win a Villa. United can see the daylight now with a Champions League place. The glint is there for them. So it's about going after their attack and talent. Villa haven't got goals in them, really. And that's the thing that's gonna cost them. They've got a great player in Jack Grealish. You know, he's had a great season for them, creating chances, but they've got nobody to put in the net. And that's going to be their undoing, sadly. And
to be fair to Jack Grealish, he's done really well in his final season for Aston Villa.
He has. Well, you know, there's talk he's going to go to Manchester United in the summer, so, you know, fair play to him. But
that'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting, because I don't know where he'd play.
No, but he'd have to, I suppose, in a squad, if they got Champions League, he'd develop. It's the kind of player you'd want, maybe not to go straight into your team for Man United, but he'd definitely be someone who could come in and develop. And no, he's a good player. It's whether he'd want to take that chance of going into a club and being part of the squad, or if there was an opportunity elsewhere where he'd be. I think he could do Tottenham a job, and I know Tottenham really liked him.
Couldn't afford him, mate.
No, I know, but I know Tottenham really liked him. But
Everton love him, but
he's a good player.
£50 million, we ain't paying that.
So, great win for Watford. Fantastic win.
Was it? I mean, Tim Krull, off the equaliser from Dawson. She's got to do better than that. She's got to do better. The second one, you can't do anything about. It's a brilliant bit of improvisation by Welbeck. And
but I said that gets them. They're 4 points clear from Villa now with that game.
31 points.
With Villa obviously playing
Villa have got United.
Manchester United, and Bournemouth face Tottenham tomorrow as well. So they, that
Bournemouth
would be,
are gone.
Yeah. Well,
Bournemouth.
I mean, I think
that Spurs are. To be honest, I could see that being a draw. I could see it being a draw. Bournemouth have had a couple of days extra rest. Don't forget Saturday when he went to United, they attacked really well. Bournemouth just at the other end. They can't defend. Then up against Son and Kane, you'd be worried. But I mean, you look at Villa's fixtures. United at home tomorrow. Crystal Palace at home on Sunday. That's a big one for them. Yeah. Palace is the one. Then they go to Everton. Then they've got Arsenal at home. And then they go to West Ham. Yeah. Last game of the season.
Be lovely if there was still something on in the last game.
Oh, imagine that West Ham v Villa last game of the season to stay up. Be incredible.
Be great, that.
But you just look, I mean, I'll just quickly check Watford's fixtures just to see who they've got. Just because it's changing. We look at these all the time, but it's changing. So Watford have got Newcastle at home at the weekend. They'll expect to take something from that, even if it's just a draw. West Ham away, the next one. That is a big one.
Big one.
City at home. Don't know what City are going to do. Arsenal away, final day of the season.
Toffee.
So, I mean, they can beat Newcastle. They can get something at West Ham. So if they get 2, 3, 4 points, they're giving themselves a great chance.
Definitely.
Staying up.
Story this morning that the 5 subs is going to be kept in for next season. I don't get the rationale of this. I've said before I thought it would happen, but I just don't get the rationale of why you would think it would need to be brought in next season, because I understand why it's brought in this season. A lot of games in a short amount of time. It's the summer. Players are going to pick up injuries. You don't want players, if there's a really, really hot day, you don't want players overexerting themselves. Yeah. But for an entire season that's going to last from September to May, I just don't see the thing. And all it's going to do is benefit the good clubs. Because, listen, there's an argument out there that it will help young players. There's an argument out there that for poor sides, they can, it'll mean fresh legs coming on towards the end. But if the fresh legs aren't quality, it ain't going to happen. Managers are not, players now are all fit. They're all fit. That's one big thing that they are. If you're trying to, any team, that you've got to make your team as fit as they are. It doesn't matter. So if you've got a game, close game, 10 minutes to go, and it's Man City or it's Liverpool or whoever, Man United with Jack Grealish on the bench, and it's a team who are holding out and are really holding out, and the next minute you've already seen 3 subs come on, and you look over and you see 2 quality players coming on. Number one, it's disheartening as a footballer, but number 2, it will do real damage, because those players will come on fresh as a daisy, and suddenly, for me, I see nothing in it that's beneficial when we should be as a league, certainly in the Premier League, settling down. Now listen, there's nothing to say that the Premier League have to bring this in, by the way. They can opt out of it if they want, but I get the feeling that a few clubs will just lean on them like they always do. We'll get their way, and we'll have 5 subs again.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I think it only benefits the top clubs with the big squads. It enables those clubs to keep players happy as well, which we want to be moving away from. We want to be moving away from stockpiling, because the whole thing should be to try to make it a more even competition, because you want to keep people interested. This lockdown, this pandemic has proved that a lot of people aren't that bothered about footy moving forward. Yes, there's a big interest in it, of course there is, but if you continue to do things that rigs the competition in favour of the ones who are at the top, then you're almost looking and go, what's the point? What is the point? Now, if you're doing 5 subs and 2 of them have to be academy players that come on, then then fair enough, or you'd have to have, if you have 7 subs, 5 of them have to be academy players, or 3 of them have to be academy players, or whatever, so that the chances of you bringing on 5 subs are reduced. That because that means you're giving a chance to young kids to get game time. Then fair enough, but it's when you were saying the other day, Villa players were saying they'd got a draw at Anfield if they weren't allowed to bring 5 subs on.
That's what they said, yeah. That's what they thought, and that's a big thing. That mentally, if you think I'm in the game here, and you look over and you see who they're bringing on, you're like, what? This again?
Joins the game as well. Yeah. 10 players.
You need to get. Funny enough, I was listening to Gary Neville was talking about the water breaks on Monday night. He was just like, this is nonsense. He said, this is not. He said, they're going over. It's like the game's tactics. But he said, the game's quarters now.
Well, that's what it is.
You know, you looked at our players surrounding Ancelotti with his clipboard. It looked like something like the NBA.
Well, that's what it is.
He said, they need to get rid of that now. He said, there's no need for it now. He said, they're all. I know it'll be seen to the end of the season, but
it's just that's ridiculous. The water breaks are ridiculous.
Certainly on the subs, said it loads of times, haven't we? You know, the only way you're going to get away from being able to do that with the stockpiling is bring a wage cap in, so that your bench isn't full of internationals. I mean, you look at like Chelsea's bench, it's just full of internationals, and you know, young and old, and it's just you know, I know they're going to lose some of those players, but interesting. Just before we finish, interesting story, seen it late last night about Adam Lallana. Looks like he's going to go on a free transfer to Leicester.
Yeah.
And apparently Klopp is basically not going to play him. But it's for the player. It's like he doesn't want to jeopardise this great move for a player. But I thought interesting move for him if he does go to Leicester. 32 now, but obviously got good experience. But if you were him, what Liverpool are doing, obviously they've won the league, and would you want to play, or you know, I think he's played enough games to have a medal, but would you want to play in those remaining games, or do you think that he's doing the right thing by not playing to secure that transfer?
Well, it's the same as it's like, I suppose what Ryan Fraser has done at Bournemouth and that, saying I don't want to play because I've got a new club lined up. Why would you? He might want to play because he might want to play for Liverpool and finish the last couple of games, whatever. But he's got to move to Leicester. Leicester doing well. Obviously, he'll be in Europe next year, whether it's Champions League or it's the Europa League. They'll be in Europe, so he'll go to play for Brendan Rodgers. You know, who signed him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Rodgers signed him. So
fantastic technician.
So yeah, great technician. So therefore, you know, for him, it's a great move. So. He'll want to get there and be fit and ready to go, won't he? He won't want to jeopardise anything. I mean, to be fair to Klopp, fair play to him. Yeah. He's looking after the player. So,
just wanted to mention this one very quickly before we finish. Gary Ward, he said, did you hear about FC Dallas being removed from the MLS tournament due to a number of positive COVID tests? So anyone doesn't know, the MLS, and I can't call it the MLS starts tomorrow morning our time. I think first game's 1 o'clock in the morning. David Beckham's into Miami versus Orlando in this tournament that they're having down in Disneyland. I mean, what a place to have basically the petri dish of America at the moment is Florida.
Disney World.
Disney World, yeah. And FC Dallas were asked to leave the tournament because their players, so obviously you've got COVID.
Quite a few tested positive.
10, I think it was. Yeah. 10 players, staff. Yeah. So they've been asked to leave, but I've been watching this a little bit, and not only MLS, but the women's football in America, they've had problems. The basketball, who was supposed to be starting in Disney World as well, they've had problems. And it ain't going away. And you just wonder whether this is a good idea. I've seen a lot of critics, a lot of sports people over there, sports writers saying, why are we bothering? Why are we trying to be... Because it's not like here. We haven't, we've got it under control. I know it might it will kick off again. What I mean is the numbers are low enough to, you say, sport can start again. We've seen the Premier League throwing money at it and all the rest of it, and we can understand why they started.
Football leagues had no test for 2 weeks.
Whereas in America,
they're still having them. It's right.
No, it's going up again though. It's right because they've let it.
Well, they haven't locked down. They haven't done a proper. Some places have.
Listen, we know the politics behind it. I don't really want to go into that.
No.
Because the politics is...
Well, there's no point, because how can you do it? It'd be like us playing football in April.
Well,
wouldn't it?
It's an absolute mess, put it this way. It's a mess. They're going up, and it's just going to be dead interesting to see what the response is going to be for this tournament in terms of...
It's a pity, because it's a great idea.
It's a great idea. There's going to be games all the time for the next 3 weeks. It's just a mad competition that they've decided to have.
So what are Dallas doing? They're just gone, aren't
So
they?
they're gone. So how does that,
does
that affect them for the rest of the season?
So basically, they're just bottom of the league, aren't they?
Because the points from this tournament, wins go towards...
It's
nuts.
It gets
nuts.
ratioed back into the league.
back into the league.
So they'll just be bottom,
So...
won't they? Oh, through
But
players being ill.
Yeah. It's going to be dead interesting to see what happens during the summer, whether anyone gets it while they're down there. Because I know...
Hopefully they won't.
The Orlando female team, they got it because some of their younger players went out to a bar.
16 of them.
Yeah. And then that spread through the team, and so they had to opt out of like basically a tournament within their own city, and you just think you haven't got it under control. What are you doing it for?
You can't. They will, but you can't.
No, they will.
Because
Of course
it's just
it's America.
jeopardised.
There you go. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you, Gary. Great. Thank you for mentioning that. When that'll start, it'll give us something to cover. Not that there's not loads of other footy to cover. Yeah. Rabiot's goal last night. Go and check it out. Fantastic.
Oh, what a goal!
Fantastic goal, even though they got beat 4-2.
What a goal!
But there you go. Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, check us out on Patreon. The link is in the description. If you want to check out more of that video with the lads, the link is in the description for that as well. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow discussing more Premier League football news after tonight. I don't even know who's playing. Who's playing tonight?
4 games tonight. There's 4 games. One of them is the champions. Yeah, at Brighton.
Man City.
Yeah.
Man City still reigning champions. They are till the season's finished, aren't they? The reigning champions till the season's finished.
Yeah.
There you go. Thanks for watching. See you later.